Good morning, and today's going to be Ace Jack offsuit. We are on the button again. Fold sus, we open raise. Pretty big range. And then we get a call. And what's interesting is that he plays 28-1, so he is passive. I think he's only 3-betting here with aces, and maybe not all of them. I'm going to assume aces and kings is what he's 3-betting with. We have a calling range with jacks and tens. You can just see all of those cards. It looks like suited cards. You've got some of the weaker suited cards. You have 10-6, you have 9-4. You go down to 5-3 and 4-3. For the offsuits, we've got King 8, we've got Queen 8, you've got Jack 6 off, 8-4 off, 7-2 off. He's got a lot of hands in his range, and actually, when you look at the pre-flop call, he's calling 47%, so almost 50%. I put together his range like this. This is 53%. It's got the suited hands. Doesn't have all of them, but I included like King 8, Queen 8, Jack 8, and then I think some of these other ones just might be maybe blind versus blind, possibly. Let's go back and look at like pre-flop versus steal. Fold blind to steal. Looks like it's 71%. Maybe he just didn't have hands at that time, like call-worthy hands. Just a big range. So flop comes down, King, Queen, Jack, which, again, Broadway. 2 suited. We have the ace of clubs, so we block flush draw. Villain checks us. He's got a massive range. We have a pretty big range, too. I don't expect him to lead here. So it's our decision to bet. I think we're probably going to be betting on the larger side here. Maybe not all of our hands. We could easily have straight. We could have sets, 2 pair. Over pair, I think we're probably betting. Where top pair, maybe not all of the top pair. If we do just like those are some value hands. We could do our flush draws, and maybe not even all of our flush draws. So maybe like the do some of these weaker ones that we'll leave, like the jacks. We'll leave some of the tens where we could possibly hit straight potential or flush potential. Our open enders, are we going to be betting with all of our tens? That's going to add a lot of our hands. So if we just go for our open enders, tens might be a check, could be a bet. I think it might actually probably a check here. I think we're gonna get King 10 possibly as a bet. So some of our top pair type hands, but I think we're probably gonna probably be betting these weaker hands. And if called, I mean, so be it. We get called. Our gut shots. I think when we deal with our gut shots and the 2-card backdoor flush draws, I think what we're doing is being a bit more selective with our hands. So again, we can kind of bluff a little bit. So some of our the weaker hands there that we're betting, I think maybe betting some of our top pair. No, maybe these, like the queens, backdoor with our queens on the low side. Maybe our, some of our gut shots here. I think we've already included those. 2-card backdoor flush draws and our gut shots. So at this point, we're only at like 12%. What we have to consider are like the aces, like the ace of clubs. I think that's going to be a good one to bet when you have the ace of clubs. And I think we've got a setting, so let me check it. All right, I found it. It was just up in the settings. Include 1-card backdoor flush draws. That's what I want. So yeah, I think we are going to be betting like these aces here. Help get us there. don't necessarily think we're, and these are the high ones, so like we're talking about ace X. Yep, we're talking about like one combo um, of those. So ace of clubs and then little, and then maybe we're going to be betting some of these low boards, low cards as a bluff. Probably not the bottom pair, and I think we're gonna need some more. So maybe 9-8, 9-7, maybe those. Like especially 10-8. You've got like if 9 gets there, you hit your gut shot. It's at 20%. Open enders, probably not betting all of them. So we're at 34%, which means I probably have few too many value hands. Well, I don't think I have enough bluffs. Let's put it that way. So maybe we have to add something like this, just to kind of get us closer to the 2-1. Where these are just like junk. Actually, I don't like those because we don't have the draws. So maybe it's going to be better to go ahead and do something like these. Maybe with our 9, like ace 9 gets there. 9, 9-8, 9-7, and maybe like our ace 9. Leave those in there. That's 26%. That's probably about better. So maybe this is what we're looking at, 40% against this range. What do I do? And I think we're going for the larger size. So, this is 4.4. I think we're going, 3 big blinds, 3.5 big blinds, going large. We checked. So let's go ahead and just X things out. We're going to X those out. And we are going to set up our calling range. We're going to X those out, set up our calling range. We're going to hit that. Flush draw. Let's get those out. Open enders. We're going to X those out. Gut shots, again, we're just kind of Xing out all the ones that I think we're going to probably include in our raising range. So these have some of our flush draws as well. All right, what are we looking at? There it is, gut shots. All right, we did our gut shots, 2 card backdoor flush draws. I think we've got those. 1 card backdoor flush draws. We're going to X those out. I do think I think we have the possibility. I think we're leaving our ace jack as a check. I think the reason being is that we can pick up a club and easily bet. We have, depending on the turn, we could easily call him. If he has junk, he's gonna just fold all of that, but he may take a stab. Probably not, because he's passive. But we have to leave some pairs in our hand. So if we improve, we can easily have that. And I think ace jack is one of those where we have a pair along with our gut shot draw and a 1 card backdoor flush draw. So we checked. We're going to go with that. 6 of clubs comes out, so that actually benefits us quite a bit. Villain checks us. I assume he's probably going to be checking because he's passive. And now it's on us, and we have improved now. So we already checked. Probably not going to be betting as much since the flush improved. If this was a non-flush draw, we might be betting a little bit more, but let's kind of work through some of our ranges. So I think we're going to be betting. Let's go here. Our flush, our made flush, we're going to try to get some value. I think sets, we're going to probably go for some value sets in 2 pair. Top pair, we can probably go for some value. That gets it up to 24%. If we start adding, our flush draws, So we should have a nut flush draw here. Did I guess we had a gut shot with our aces. We should have had the nut flush draw. I thought it should have been some of those. All right, I'm gonna go back and check. All right, I figured it out. On the flop, I didn't highlight, or I didn't select some of these other ones, so you could see I didn't have middle pair, bottom pair selected, and that's where they were. So it's like, you know, when I selected, it wasn't even in the range. So now we have them, which changes things a little bit more. So we can easily have a nut flush. We got second nut. We can have third nut. Maybe we bet our weak flushes. Go for a little bit of value here. You know, we're about at 40% here. I think we still have a few more than what we should have. So maybe with our nut flush, we're going to be looking at maybe ace queen, ace jack as our check. You know, kind of still get a little bit of value. We do have some showdown value here. It doesn't really change a whole lot of our percentages. Let's see if we can fix it. I think open enders are probably going to be checks. Yeah, I think at least one of these we're going to have to keep in our checking range. So maybe the middle pair is what we go for a little bit. Maybe like the ace queen, queen 10. We go for a bet here. That gets us a little bit closer. Still not ideal, but you know, 43% might be what we're looking at betting. I did bet. I bet half pot. I'm not sure if that's correct. That sizing, we're going to look at it at GTO, but we got called. So I'm going to make that as my betting range. We've got his calling range. We're going to say he's calling with, since it went check, check, he's probably calling with his pairs, probably weak pairs, flush draws, probably all flush draws, probably open ender. He's passive. He wants to call hands, so probably 92%. That's a lot of cards. I don't think that he's correct in doing that, but it is what it is. So the 10 of diamonds comes out. He checks to us. I do think we're going to be betting, and I think for value we are going to be betting our straights, but not all of our straights. I think probably just our ace high straights. And our flushes, and then I think we're probably going to balance that with a few of like the weak pairs or like nothing hands. Like we've got an 8-7. If we do a weak pair, that's probably about good. I would predict, and we did 50%, 50%. So at least at this point, we're probably going to go 50% again. Maybe 2/3 get some value. We'll see. We'll see. So I checked behind. I think this is probably a mistake. I think I missed some value here. And since he has everything, you know, he gets a free showdown, and he shows ace jack, and that is in his range. If I bet, am I going to get a fold? You won't know until we do it. And I think that's why we kind of bet maybe on the larger side. You know, with the flush that's out there, he might think against calling with an ace jack, but in this case he did call. So I say let's check out GTO. Already ran it, already got it going. It was a big one. Set up a lot of different stuff. So let's see if we can enlarge this a little bit. So I programmed it to where he wasn't supposed to be betting. Unless he was, like he's not supposed to donk unless he showed aggression. That was the idea. So I must have messed it up. So he checked. It's on us. We are checking 57%. So we're betting 40-some%, which we were at 41%. What are we betting? We're betting our straights. Kind of figure that. We're betting our sets. We're betting not all of our two pair. We're betting some of our, you know, we're not betting all of our two pair. We're not betting all of our over pair. That's going to allow some of our value range to be down a little bit. So that means we're not going to have as many bluffs in our range. We still have some of the top pair, but again, we're not betting all of them. So out of all of our top pair, we're checking. We're betting about half. It looks like. Middle pairs, so we're going to throw in some middle pairs, and I wonder if those are a little bit for value or a little bit for bluff. Flush draws are mostly betting. We do have some checks, and again, I just kind of said, instead of doing a mixed strategy where sometimes we bet, sometimes we check, I left some out. I said we were going to bet all of those. What's interesting is that GTO is having us bet with basically all of our ace-x hands. And there's really no preference for sizes. You could say we're basically evenly. We could go for any size. Maybe favored smaller size a little bit. Open enders, going for the 10 with the weak kicker. Those are checks. 10. So that's not too bad. Gut shots, kind of the weak kickers. So I think some of my range was off. Kind of reverse than what we should. I do say we did need, let's go back here, we did need some of our flush draws in our range. So, when we checked it, we had these low ones checking, whereas GTO saying, no, we should be betting all of those, and then we're going to be sometimes checking about 50% or so with all of the rest of those. So kind of mix it up. So we did check. And then the 6 of clubs comes out. Dylan checks to us. So he's definitely allowed to bet here. GTO would say check most of the time. And then once it gets checked to us, we have ace-jack. We are still checking with our ace of club. Jack of clubs betting. Ace of clubs is not. So we are still, this is 37%. We're not betting as much, which I think, again, we're on the lower side. So I worked the bet out. So our check would have been 37%, or 57%. So we're kind of close, but we're off. So our ace jack is checked. So let's look at our betting. Our flushes, we're betting all of our flushes. We're betting all of our straights. Probably looks like half pot is what we're looking at this point. Is what we should be betting. Go for half pot, and then our set. We're betting our set. We're betting most of our two pairs. Like the queen 6 jack 6 looks like we're checking. We're still betting our overpair. I think I probably would have left the overpair as a check at this point, maybe. Oh well, yeah. I was betting the aces. So if you check some of those aces, you're gonna have them here, and then the top pair we're betting, but we're keeping the weaker kickers at this point. I had all of the weaker kickers, and I think that was trying to increase our value so that we're more of like a 1-to-1. Nut flush draws, we're betting those except ace jack with the ace, ace of clubs. I think that's kind of interesting. Yes, we could bet, but looks like we're not. It's like GTO saying no. So ace of clubs, jack of spades, 90% check here, 10% bet. So it's not terrible that we can bet. So let's go ahead and say we bet half pot. He calls, and then 10 of diamonds. Is it appropriate for us to bet out? Yeah, and I kind of felt like we should have done this. So how come, where did my ace jack go? Oh, because it's most of the time you're betting the smaller size instead of half pot. So Yeah, so we're gonna call, check, and then yeah, we're betting our aces basically, and I think that's what we needed to. I think we needed to bet our aces. We're betting our flush. We're betting our straights, our ace high straights, but not our 9 high straights. So I was right on the river, but I think our turn needs some improvement. Let's go ahead and check here. When we check, let's see the turn report here. So for player one, he's out of position. These are the turn cards, so it really helps him to have an ace or a 10. Nines aren't terrible. King, Queen, Jack, 8, 7, 3, and 2 are all awful for him. So if he checks, then it gets to us on the turn. And now when he checks, we're looking at basically tens are going to be bad for the player two. In terms of equity, it seems odd, but it's probably because of split pots. That would be my guess. Probably. So we had all of those opportunities. So if a specific hand, we did ace of clubs, jack of spades. I don't know if this will work. I messed around with it. So yeah, player two. So we're gonna do this. Player he checks. Player two has that. So ace jack against all of this. Yeah, 10's not bad. Jack's pretty good, but I think it's for our entire range here. So we're gonna have a lot of hands that are good. That 10's just gonna be awful for most of our range, but it's actually gonna be good for specific hands, and ace jack is one of those where it's actually good. I think this is our interpretation. So we checked 6 of clubs. He checks. We bet half pot, and he calls. So let's check out the river report here. Still going, still going. We'll come back when it's done. All right, never really finished. So, we go a bet and call. Player one really does want to see a 10, doesn't necessarily want to see aces or 7 or 8. I think those are all in our range. Player two, on the other hand, so when you go check, let's see here. So that's on the flop. Once he goes checks us, you're looking at 10's actually pretty good. And I think that's kind of why we end up betting. Just looking at what 10 hits. 10 of diamonds. 10 of diamonds is right there. We should be betting about half of the time. And it's, on this, it's going, what is it? On 66% pot. So I think I set it up as 66 or 33. So it's favoring the slightly larger size in this case. And we're going to be firing out that bet, I think, with an 8 aces. Definitely kings aren't that great, but we're still betting. So if we do this, I think this is going to be betting. That changes it. Yeah, smaller sizes, larger sizes. This is what's going. So we're going with the 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just basically attacking. Once we bet, none of these connected. 7, we can bet because of probably didn't connect. I mean, 10 gets there, so we're thinking 10-9 is out there. That's why like a 9 and an 8 would be bad. So overall, interesting situation. We missed the bet on the river. I think we should have been c betting here. No, check. No, we should be checking most of the time with our ace jack. And this was it. Aces we're betting. Our ace king we're betting because we've got the ace top pair, and we've got the nut flush draw. Ace queen we're betting because again we've got second pair in the nut flush draw. But ace jack now it's flipping. We're gonna keep the ace of clubs in our checking range, but now we're gonna let the jack bet. We're gonna be betting our jack, and that's king jack's betting. You know, that's a two pair. That's two pair. Looks like that's all of our flushes and so forth. Is what we're looking for. Jack of clubs, really jack nine is when we start getting our check. So yeah, there's some mistakes happening. Check's probably okay. Check was correct on the flop. I think for the most part, our strategy was okay until we get to the turn. So instead of betting out with our hand, we would check. We still had frequencies about right, but it was kind of had some different hands that should have been bet, and hands that should have been called. So that's our workup. Still working on these broadways. Hopefully get through another one every day this weekend, but it is a weekend, 3-day weekend, so who knows. If I don't get anything posted, then look on Tuesday where we will get back to our normal routine. All right, enjoy it.